I'm Pooja Sharma and I'm at the Cedar IBSI Building a Future Ready Bank Summit here in Mumbai. With me is Mohammed Shakir, CBO, Gieom. How are you liking the event?
It's wonderful, Pooja, to be here, and thanks for having me. It's always, a real pleasure being at IBS events. So there's always new topics which is thought-provoking.
Shakir, I will start with how RegTech is shaping operational resilience and compliance across global framework today.
Right, so resilience and compliance, they go hand in hand now, and especially talking from a global framework standpoint, if you see RegTech has started building or creating single source of truth, especially from a global framework standpoint, they try to unify it. So they try to bring in, the global framework like ISO, NIST, or even operational resilience framework like DORA. So what this enables the organization to have a faster risk detection, it brings a consistent controls, and also it helps to make sure that there is a seamless audit readiness as well. So in a nutshell, I would say that the RegTechs are making resilience more smarter, scalable, and truly global.
Now, where do you see biggest gap between regulatory expectation and on-ground compliance execution?
See, this is always a question that gets asked because it's always difficult to, keep the regulators happy. But you should be seeing both sides of the coin. So if you look at the regulator expectation, they are looking for a continuous, real-time data-driven, end-to-end traceability from an evidence standpoint. But if you take the organization, it's not that they are ignorant, they are very much aware about the regulation, they know the rules. I think the gap is the operational execution. That is where the gap, because in most of the firm, it's still manual, and firms try to stitch the spreadsheet and, get information from siloed platform, which becomes difficult from an organization standpoint. So it's more of a manual evidence where the regulators are looking more at real-time data-driven kind of an evidence. So that's where, mostly the gaps comes in.
What is the most practical and immediate GenAI use case in compliance operation right now?
See, from a compliance operational standpoint, I would say the automation of, the regulatory compliance, especially on a gap assessment, because that is where a lot of the organizations spend time in understand the regulation and identifying the gap to see what are the controls, and it can be a policy or it can be a procedure, what are the gaps in it. I think GenAI is something can automate this, and it is not customer driven, it can even be as an enabler. So it may not have to be 100% right, but at least it helps as an enabler for the organization to leverage those toolkit to make sure that the gap assessment is automated.
Quite the contrary though. In the panel it was said that somebody spoke at the panel saying that agentic AI or GenAI is customer driven. So what's your take on it?
So customer driven, there's a lot of use cases are happening because it becomes sensitive. In the same panelist, one of the person said that because the GenAI said no to an answer, it got into a legal issue. So that's why you ask what will be the immediate GenAI use cases. So the safest is always at the employee level, at the back office operation side, so that you can always try and test out using multiple use cases. And my suggestion would always be is use it as an enabler. And once you get the confidence, that is where you roll out to your people. But this is something which we are seeing in practical scenario now.
Last but not the least, what can you share about your upcoming launch and the pain point it aims to address?
Right. See, we have recently launched ComplyAssure. It pretty much addresses the compliance, regulatory compliance, the gap assessment, and from a RegTech standpoint, it also addresses the policy governance as well. Because that's where we see a lot of pain point, as I mentioned earlier, that it's all about how a compliance team needs to understand the regulation, see the gap, they need to send it to multiple stakeholders to ensure that the gap is getting closed. But using the GenAI with ComplyAssure, it can take up a lot of that manual effort which is going through now, which can be automated, so that it's more for them to just review and approve than then searching and looking for many other information. And also from a policy governance standpoint, a lot of organizations spend time in understanding the regulation and then, writing the policies.
Yeah.
But that is something which can get automated based on the organization policy template they wanted. The
Yeah.
GenAI can create those kind of draft policy, which can further be enhanced, reviewed, and approved as well. So there's a lot more. And in fact, if you go to our website on Gieom,
Yeah.
under the product we have ComplyAssure, which we have launched,
Yeah.
and we are also providing a free trial for people to experience.
Thank you so much, Shakir, for your time.